Today, I'm going to record steps to do a full set of nails for our student. We have a client here, so we're gonna do a set of nails on her. We're gonna go through the full steps and then do a design for her. Okay, here we go. Just zoom to the nail. Okay. So the very first thing you do is we had some nail, we took it off. But if the customer don't have nails, then you want to cut the nails short. Okay. Your drill, you got the open and a lock button, and so if you put you see how you can hold it back and switch to open, and you can change the drill bit. Okay. On your drill, if you are left-handed, you will be on R for reverse. If you're right-handed, you put on F for forward. Okay, and then turn your drill on, and then turn the speed. Okay. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the nail. We're gonna basically sand the nail bed up a little bit, not too hard, but we need it to be a little rough so that the binding of the acrylic will be good. So we're gonna start with the perimeter of the nails. Like so. Go around the perimeter first. Get that perimeter real good, because nail lift starts from the perimeter of the nail. Water is gonna hit the perimeter first, and it gets into the nails, and it lifts the nails up. We don't want any nail lifting. Why don't we do any why don't we want any nail lift? Is because water gets in, body temperature is warm, and that moist and under a color is dark. Moist, warm, and dark is a perfect ecosystem for fungus to happen. So we don't want no fungus among us. Okay. All right. As you're running this drill, you don't want to press down on the nail, because the harder you press down, it will gouge out a layer of the nail. You don't want that, and then that result in thin nails when the customer takes the acrylic nails off. We just want to lightly glide on top, takes all the dead skin out, and all the oil out for the nail job. Okay. Now the next step is to glue the nails on. Have a tip box here. With the tip box, you don't want to pre-short the nail out. You just want to leave the tip. It has different size, okay, biggest to smallest. And so when you look at the tip box, you got the big one, which will be your thumbs. Okay, 0, 1, 2 will be your thumb area. Your pinky will be like 10, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So you got a middle area for your ring finger, your middle finger, and your pointer finger. So you gotta have a range of where you're gonna be. So you don't have to, okay, say, okay, that's the thumb, and then you got another, that's the pinky, and then you go, this is the middle finger. Then you have another batch over here. You're gonna then have to sort. So just leave it in its place. Okay. If you're right-handed, leave your tip box on the right side. Have it open like this. Okay. One dab of glue drop right in the center of the nail. That's all you need. Guess your tip size. All right, put it right in front and look at where the tip and that meets. And then once you think that's good, press down. Put it in and press down. All right, give it about 5 seconds, and it should be fine. Okay. If you have an air spot, then you just dab a little bit of glue more. Again, 1 drop of glue right in the dab center. Pick your tip, press it on there. 5 Mississippi, should be dry. Okay, that's how you should do it. It's fast, efficient, and not messy. Amanda. right? I don't recommend you putting glue on here and try to flip it. Can it be done? Yes, but it's messy. The reason why it's messy is because as you putting glue on here, you are on this position, and as you flipping it, you know, sometimes you put too much glue and the glue will run down and you got the tip and your finger glue in together. It's better you drop it right at the surface area of the nail, put it right on there. Okay. Try to get the same size tip. Whatever tip size you put on the other hand, use the same size tip on the other hand, this hand. You might argue that, you know, one hand's nail bed might be bigger than others, but you try to compromise. Okay, you don't want to put two different size tip. Then it looks totally different. All right, after you put the tip on, you're gonna cut the tip to the customer's desired length. How long do you want, dear?
However long, because you have to do the...
It doesn't matter. You tell me how long you want.
That's fine.
Right here?
Yep.
And you want coffin, okay? So so the customer give us a reference length that she wants, so that become your reference for the rest. So you cut that length, she's okay with that, then you cut the next one, and you put the cuticle to cuticle, all right? And then you see, you know, compare the one that's longer, then you make it, you know, equal. The next one, compare it, so you don't have any length problem, okay? After you're done with one hand, don't do the other hand yet. Take a look at this hand. Grab their fingers together like this, so that way the fingernails are closed and not like just spread like this and try to hoover over. Get it closed and look at it to make sure that they're somewhat in a generalized length, okay? And then of course you look at those and you look at the thumb, all right? And make your adjustment as perfect as you can. Then now this hand become the reference for the other hand, all right? So you come over here. What I like to do is cut it with the idea that it's a little longer than that one, okay? Or just go ahead and cut it. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna overlap their hand, one on top of the other. I'm gonna use one pinky with the other pinky. I put the cuticle together and I'm looking at the tip and I can see how much this one is longer than this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it to length, bam. Then I slide over, ring finger. I look at how much I gotta cut, okay. Then I slide over, middle finger. All right. Slide over. Okay. And thumb to the thumb, okay. So the fact that you left this hand a little longer give you some leeway to make it perfect to the other hand, okay? Don't go super happy and cut that one too short, then you have to replace the tip. All right, so the customer wants like coffin shape. The tip that I bought, that I put on her is regular tip, so what we're gonna do is gonna cut the side, like so. You don't have to cut the side 100% just yet. Even if you are doing 100% right now, you're gonna have to file again after you apply the acrylic, only because, you know, the acrylic's gonna pan out, and so you're gonna have to reshape it anyway. So as long as you get it to like 80% off the final shape, you would save yourself some trouble already. They are pre-shaped tip, coffin tips, or stiletto tip that they sell. You guys can buy that and put it on for these new shape that they just came out with. But that will do the same job, okay? Now, the next step is to apply primer. Throw your primer.
Right here.
Okay. Yeah. Primer here is it's a very important step. It prevents the nail from fungus. It helps the binding of the acrylic to the nail. It's very important you apply plenty of primer on the natural nail bed only. It's acidic. It has fungicide features in it. So if you apply it on the tip, it will sometimes crack. So if you apply it, so if you guys practicing and you slap some primer on the tip and you saw the tip start cracking, that's why. It's because of the primer cracking it. So that only are applied to natural nail bed. And also when you do a fill, you want to only apply at the fill gap, because if you apply it onto the old acrylic will have yellow, and if the customer want French or something like that, it will not make things look good. Okay. All right. So now is the acrylic application process. When you apply acrylic, you should have your brush, acrylic, and powder. Okay. When I first teach new students, we want to do a 3-ball method, and that means when you pick up the acrylic, first of all, how do you work your brush? You're gonna dip this brush into the monomer. You're going to brush off. You will control the acrylic monomer, the liquid, by pressing off the north side of your brush and picking up the acrylic on the south side of your brush. So you're gonna start far away and drag it towards you. Okay, do not ever skinny dip your brush in here, because that's messy. You got acrylic on both sides. You will not control the acrylic that way. Okay, so again, get your brush in here. Depend on how much acrylic powder you're gonna pick up with. Control your liquid by getting off a lot or just a little bit off. Then you have a lot of monomer still on your brush. For a 3-ball method, you just only want a little bit of monomer. Pick up a little bit of acrylic. You are going to start by dropping it at the tip of the nail. After you drop it off, you need to clean your brush. With new monomer, you will work this ball of acrylic from the location of the drop off to the tip of the nail. And then you will end up with excess. Get the excess off by just pressing down. Constantly brush on top of that acrylic ball so that the monomer will tell you, and with the light reflection, it'll tell you if that ball is nice and not like has a hump or a divot in it. All right, the second ball is the body of the acrylic. Pick up the same amount, drop it higher near the cuticle, but not into the cuticle. Have your fingernail slanted down. Get new monomer. All right, then start working this ball of acrylic down. As you get closer to the first ball, blend it in. Okay. That's how you do the second ball. Now, watch for the acrylic not to overflow on both sides. The reason why we're doing 3 balls is because we want you to have control of the exact amount of acrylic. The third ball, the reason why we want the third ball is because we want small amount, but controlled. You want to drop it near the cuticle. You want to get to the cuticle, but not onto the skin. That's very important, okay? We do not want you to apply it at the cuticle and onto the skin like that. Although you might see nothing wrong with this right now, it's all over the skin. And so when you come to do your final filing, it's messy, okay? So I'm gonna leave that because I'll show you how it is when it's dry.
Sorry.
You all right?
I couldn't remember if I left my car.
Okay, so I'm gonna review that again. First ball, drop it at the tip. All right, clean your brush. Work on it. Remember, students that we are not moving the acrylic ball with the force of the brush pressing on it. It's the fact that the monomer, the new monomer that you get from your brush, are hitting it, moves that acrylic ball. So you're not forcefully push it. Okay, the acrylic monomer dissolves it, and so it spreads. Okay. Third ball. Okay. Show you one more
How
time.
do you get the perfect monomer to acrylic ratio?
So that's why we do 3-ball acrylic, Jade. Jade asked, how do we get the right consistent? That's why we do 3-ball. And if you feel like the 3-ball, you can't have control, then you can break it to, 5, 6-ball if you need to. But that's what we want you to practice, starting with 3 balls, and then get better from there. So get a little bit. So the answer to your question, Jade, is get a little bit, work with a little bit, have fully control of what you picked up. Then you will feel like you're more comfortable of picking up more, because your ability able to work, with more acrylic is gotten better. So if you feel like 3 balls is too much on this finger, I would try to do like 5 balls. So you pick a little bit and you drop it off even more near the tip. And then you're like, okay, I can control that little bit of ball. I can control that, right? And then you have to have a goal for yourself. Basically, the goal is you reach both sides without excess flowing on the side, and you reach the tip of that nail and get that excess off. And you left the thickness of the acrylic right there. Then, you pick up another ball, another small ball. And if you feel like you can control this, then you're ready for more bigger size pickup, okay? But like I said, we're going to do right here. This is the 3rd ball already. So pick up small, have control by blending it in, leaving the acrylic on the nail. Because a lot of students, new students, you guys like to pick it up and swipe it away. And then it ends up on the paper towel. So that's not a very efficient way of applying the acrylic, and it's messy, and it's gonna take you forever to build up the thickness that you want. Drop the ball off with the intention of 90% of that acrylic ball is gonna retain where I dropped it off at, okay? And work on that blend, okay? And that's what you want. You have different brand, Jade, will have a different setting time. So if you buy, say, monomer from Tammy Taylor, or you buy monomer from OPI, different brand, or C&D, it has a different setting. Like some will take forever to dry, some will dry very quickly. So, but you as a technician, you can tell the product of what you work with, and every day you work with it, you'll get used to it. Okay, so you'll have to be able to work with what you have, and once you master it, you can work with any brand. Okay, going back to the 3 ball here. First ball drop, 2nd ball here. All right. And then the 3rd ball. Okay. All right. So once you get used to it, you're working for a while, and you're like, okay, I got the 3 ball. So I want to try the 2 ball. All right. So the 2 ball, you look at the nails amount your customer injured herself. I think it should be okay. She got caught in a car seat. All right, so you're gonna have to pick up a lot bit more than, if you're gonna do 3 balls, and you're gonna drop it higher near the cuticle. Okay, you have to maintain the amount of the acrylic you drop off here on top of the nail and do not let it overflow. So you have to have more control, okay? Side control and frontal control. And so you continue to brush it toward the tip of the nail, and the same way, you get that excess off, okay? And at time, this excess piece will fight with you. That's okay. You know, leave it like right there, let it dry, and you come around with a nail clipper and clip it right off, okay? It's more important that you focus on the top of the nail and the structure of the nail. And so the 2-ball method is for, you know, you're getting a little bit more advanced, but you're still not too advanced where you want to do the cuticle ball separately. So that's where you would do 2 acrylic ball, okay? Again, pick it up a lot, drop it near the cuticle, but not touching the cuticle because you want to do a separate ball for that. Then you get new monomer, and then you bring the whole thing down towards the tip of the nail. Okay. You get that excess off. Okay. Then you do your cuticle ball. Okay. You have 2 scenarios with the acrylic as you work with them. 1, too dry. What do you do when it's too dry? Well, if it's too dry and you have to move your acrylic quickly, then you use the bottom part of your brush. It's harder here, you can press down, all right? So, here's an example. You pick up too much. You either pick up too much, or, you know, you let it sit too long and it dries up, or you're working on it too long and it dries up, and now it's like almost completely set. Then you have to like, oh crap, I have to hurry up and move it. Use the bottom here and use it to press, and it will move, okay? Okay. So that's scenario 1. You have that problem. Did not use enough acrylic monomer, ball of acrylic are drying, okay? The other scenario you have is too much liquid. Well, when you have too much liquid with very little powder, it's gonna be running. It's gonna be running everywhere. So the way to conquer that is you balance the acrylic that you drop off on the nail bed, and with the amount of time that air is hitting it, it will dry it up. So for example, your monomer, a lot, you put it on, and it's running. Okay, so what you're gonna do is just kind of balance it. Work with gravity. If it goes that way, point the finger this way. If it goes this way, point it back that way. All right, just a few seconds, and you'll see yourself that okay, it's condensing, and so now I can actually move it. Okay, so that's the 2 scenario you have as a new tech to conquer: too much and too little monomer. Any question, Jade? All right, so once you start with 3, if you feel like you can't work with 3, do 5. If you got 3, you do 2. Once you got 2, you want to do 1. So with the 1-ball method, hopefully by the time you graduate, you can do 1-ball method. You're gonna have to pick up a lot, similar to the 2-ball method. You're gonna drop it off right near the cuticle, like almost touching the cuticle, but you want your brush to go in there and work that cuticle, okay? Then it switched to the 2-ball, because now you're gonna have to bring the rest of them down to the tip of the nail. So eventually you get good. It may not be day 1, but by the time you graduate, or by the time you work in nail salon for a while, and you've done so many clients, you will be able to do 1-ball method. Because if you do 1-ball method, your speed compared to a 3-ball method is 3 times. So you're gonna finish that set of nails 3 times faster. And once you have really control, it doesn't matter if the nail is big or the nail is long, you will have the ability to pick up and guess how much acrylic to pick up. And this is primarily the reason why I give all my students big brush, because you have the power to do anything. Long, short, wide. Okay. Okay. So that is acrylic application. The next step you want to do is shape the nail. At this point, the very first nail that you did should be dry. So you come here and you shape the first nail. All right, so you want coffin. So very first thing that what you want to do is straight the tip. How do you know that is straight? You compare that to the cuticle line. Your cuticle line is right there. Your tip line, your tip file is right there. It has to be parallel, meaning an equal sign. If this thing is not, it's not parallel, meaning if it's slanted a little bit, and then the cuticle line come out this way where it intersect out here somewhere in the airspace, then you know your tip slanted. So that's how you know that is straight. Okay. Then you're going to use your finger and your thumb to separate the acrylic, because as you apply acrylic, it flows on the side, comes down to this crack. You have to put your thumb in here, separate that. Your file will start filing from the tip corner to the very tip here. Okay. Don't use this file up in here. That's old school. We don't want to do that no more. From this cuticle line, come around the cuticle, we're going to use the mechanical drill for that. Okay. So here we go. Okay, straight. That should be a straight. Okay, like that dot right there and this dot right here needs to be straight for a good coffin shape. Shaping is so important. Spend your time shaping. Make sure that it's nice for your client, because it has the final look to the outcome of the nail. All right, so that right there is a good coffin shape. Okay. Again, don't worry about up there. You worry about here to here, here to here, and that's straight. Okay, so we're gonna do that for all 10 nails. Some of the common mistake of new student is not holding the file correctly. Notice how I hold my file. Okay, we want to hold it back here, not in the front here. If you hold it in the front, you feel more comfortable because you hold the whole thing on your hand, but you have no room to do it, and you just jigsawing and it's not doing anything. You want to be like a violinist, where you hold it back here and one long stroke, you're doing work the whole time. Wherever the side that you're filing, press the file against that side. So if I'm filing on the right side, I'm putting the file here, I'm using this finger, I'm pressing the file toward that way. This file is pretty flexible. Most files are pretty flexible. It's not going to snap on you. But don't press it too hard where it bends the thing. But press it enough to do work. And you can tell by, you can feel it. All right? You can feel what your file is doing. You see sometimes you see tech do this. All right? So basically, dust will accumulate on the nail file grit. And they do that so that the dust will fall out. Do the same thing on every nails. Don't have different routine on, like when you switch nail. Say you want to go in, you do the tip first. The next nail, you're gonna do the tip first. Then you're gonna do the side. Then you're gonna do the side. Okay. Don't come over here and try to do the side first. It don't make the nails uniform. Okay, you do the tip first. Have that systematic going on. Go ahead and speed things up right here because we don't have any pause on the video. I want it to be a straight through. That way, student can watch it. Now, if you're I want to say sloppy, but if you happen to put, when you apply acrylic, it goes down in here under the nail a lot. Start your nail file flat and bring it up top. I'll show you in a second. So say, remember this piece? So you didn't have time to get it off, you know, let it come around and it's dry now, clip it right off. Now I forgot my train of thought. I'm sorry that hurt you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's my fault.
Any questions, Jay? A lot of you, I know, like you file the tip before you apply the acrylic. If you have time, you know, that's fine. But like I said, you see, yeah, we have to file the final filing right now anyway. So a lot of time that's kind of wasted if you file in the tip. Especially the fact that it's only held on by glue. You know, you file too hard, it'll pop up from the nail bed before you even apply the acrylic on. Then you have to glue the tip back on. So you can skip that step, save you some time. Oh, okay, I remember what I was gonna show you. So what I was gonna say is if you apply acrylic a little bit sloppy, it goes down here, start your file flat like so. Okay, same plane, like it's laying same plane with the nail. And then kind of push it out and come up here. You see how it changed the direction now? You start like this and then come up like this. Okay? Believe it or not, at this point right here, you're almost done with the nail. All it is running the drill around that cuticle. This is the example I gave you with the running acrylic. Cut on the side. We'll clean that after. Okay. So shape the nail good. Now you want to get to the other drill bit. This is the carbide drill bit. Let me explain to you something. If you're working on the long nails, and majority of the time you want to put the drill bit all the way in. But if you're working on a long nail where the part of your drill is hitting, like if you're drilling and the bottom part of your nail is hitting, then you can extend this out so that it don't hit. Okay? But most of the time, put it all the way in. because while you put it all in, the more the drill grip to the shank, the smoother the spin. Okay, the less the nail drill grabs to this drill bit, the more rumbling it is. Okay, so put all the way in. This fingernail right here I showed you earlier about applying acrylic. If you apply acrylic like this, you're gonna have a lot of trouble running this drill. So when you start running this drill, you have to separate that cuticle out. Using the pad of your thumb, press up onto the customer's skin and reveal that perimeter. And as you can see, it is about 1/2 millimeter all over that cuticle. So if you happen to do this, then what you're gonna do is run it right before the cuticle line. Okay? Because if you run it onto the cuticle where it's at, then you're gonna hurt the customer. Okay? So you wanna run it before, and then what you wanna do is take the cuticle nipper that I gave y'all as part of your kit and nip that out. Okay, nip that out. Okay, what you've done is you create a wedge. Okay, okay. See that? You see that, Jade? So don't ever run the drill on top. Oh crap! Ooh, that one in there. Guess he'll come out. Oh, this is the bad one. See how this spin? Can you zoom in on that? Let me roll this. See how it's rumbling? All right. So this one, the shank is bent somehow. You know, sometimes with our naked eye, we can't even see it. Okay, it's kind of same thing with like people who shoot professional play pool. They'll pick up their pool stick and they roll it onto the table. They want to make sure that thing is straight. The same idea here. You want a nice smooth ride. So how does it get bent? Well, it get bent because sometime with the drill bit on the drill head, sometimes you leave it on the table and it drop off, and although the tip don't come out, it bends it inside. So be careful with your drill. So you're running this drill, you're seeing how I'm running it. You might be confused as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. Well, the drill, I'm right-handed, so the drill spins this way. So if you're right-handed, if you set it on the forward setting, you should be dragging your drill from the right to the left. Lift it up from the air, okay, especially when you're new to the drill, okay? So the contact and the grinding is from the right to the left. Okay. Technician's right. Like so. Now, because I'm used to it, I don't lift it up in the air like I'm doing here, because that's a waste of time. But if you're new, you do that, right? So what I do, or what experienced technician do, is when they drag it from the right to the left, they let the drill spins it back. They have a mental stop and the drill spins it back. So when it actually bounces back, there's no cutting from left to right. It just rolls back. Okay? So the cutting is from right to left, rolls back. So in the high speed, this is what you see they're doing. Okay?
I didn't know that.
You're learning a whole lot today, huh? You're getting the whole free course here. I don't do too much fouling on my nail bed, okay? Because I took the time to form it nicely when it was still wet and was still formable, okay? So I took my time doing that, shape it nice and right, so I don't have to grind too much. If you apply your acrylic not as smooth, you know, a lot of bump, like the Michelin tire guy, then you gotta grind the hell out of it to make it smooth for the smooth paint job. Right, Jay?
Yes.
We still recording, Brandon? Yeah. Turn around. Oh, darn, I didn't hit the record button.
That would not be funny.
So two angle that you need to work with on your drill, 90-degree angle and 15-degree angle, okay? And what angle, what the hell am I talking about? The plane of your drill, the plane of the fingernail, okay? 90-degree angle, say if I put that plane like this, then if 90-degree, I would come in with the drill like this, where this makes a 90-degree angle. All right, 15-degree angle, the plane of the nail and the plane of my drill. So this angle right here is 15 degree, okay? It's important because you're walking this drill on here. And if you're not at 90, if you say you're here, then if you're going up, then you're hitting the skin and the nail at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be at 90. Well, I'm not gonna be on top like this. I'm gonna bend her finger and I'm gonna come in and I'm still at 90 degrees. So I'm walking 90 degrees from that corner to the cuticle corner. Then from that cuticle corner, I'm coming across at 15. And then I'm starting from here, going back down here, 90, okay? Once I got that perimeter, then I'm going to, you know, make sure the surface is nice and smooth, okay? Pay attention to, like this one right here, I apply the acrylic kind of thick at the tip. You know, the thickness of the nail should all be the same. You don't want one thick, one thin. You don't want one thick one side and thin on the other side. So pay attention as you get to the tip. Make sure that the thickness of the acrylic is evenly distributed. It's a lot to doing nails, but it makes a very good artist when you pay attention to detail. Like I said, separate the skin from the acrylic so you can see exactly what you're doing. Don't do any guesswork. If you can't see what you're cutting, you go in there, going around, your chances are you're gonna butcher up some cuticle. Alright, so that's the drill. Now we're gonna smooth the nail for painting. Alright, oh, before you do that, as a new tech, even with an old tech, spend the time to run underneath the nail for customers. Because sometimes you have excess acrylic down here. Go ahead and take it off, right there. Some fouling, you know, little residual, little fuzz, get that out. This is that finger that I was telling you about, scenario about running. Now it run and it get down in there, into the skin here. So remember to master that. Practice make perfect. You guys gonna apply acrylic onto like fake nails and stuff like that. Practice, you know. Once you get the jits of it, do some real customer's hand because it's nothing like real person's hand. Okay, when you buff the nail, buff the top surface, slant the nail, side, right side, left side, and get the tip for people, okay? So that's the way you buffer. Top, side, side. The textbook talks about one side buffing to prevent streaks. I don't think it makes a big difference. What they're talking about is like this, you know, going one direction. I don't think it makes a difference. So you can do side to side. Just get the thing smooth. You care about final product, okay? Get that smooth. A lot of people will like skip through this step. Like they barely buff. They be like this. You know, that's a really a shitty job. You need to buff it nice so you probably would look nice. Okay, so now go ahead and wash your hand. Have your customer wash your hand, and when you come back, you're ready to paint. So that is how you do acrylic nails. I think we'll stop the video here because we're doing a separate video for the paint job, okay?